Good morning. This devotion is for Saturday, April the 4th. The reading this day is from Mark chapter 10, 32 to 34. Now they in this case means Jesus and his followers, were on the road going up to Jerusalem, and Jesus was walking ahead of them. They were amazed, and those who followed were afraid. He took the 12 aside again and began to tell them what was to happen to him, saying, "See, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be handed over to the chief priests and scribes, and they will condemn him to death. Then they will hand him over to the Gentiles. They will mock him and spit upon him and flog him and kill him. And after 3 days, he will rise again." So, again, and so what we have here is Jesus in a series of times telling his closest followers, those who have been around him. Now, this is in the Gospel of Mark, so this is a 1-year ministry for Jesus. But he has pretty repeatedly said this very thing, that he is going to die in Jerusalem. And they continually have trouble with this. They just can't seem to get it into their heads. Now, there's a part of us that knows the end story, all right, that, it's too easy to look at them and say, well, they're all dense, but that's not fair. Think about it for a minute. I can't imagine I'd act any differently. I mean, really, how could it make any sense that the Son of God could die? How does that work? They've been with this person. They at least have gotten to some point of understanding a touch of who he is and what he's about, and they've seen him do some pretty spectacular things. I can't imagine that I'd act any differently. Because somehow in our heads, we want everything simply to make sense. And that's where we fail. See, that's the sense of faith, really. Because really, in the end, it was a senseless act of God's love that saved us. Pretty simple. Make any sense for him to do what he did other than love? So look for that. Look for that in these days. Look for that in your life. God's senseless love. Because, my dear friends, in the end, that's the only thing that makes sense. To close this day, I'd like to encourage you to say with me Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long.